Good morning and welcome to Outnumbered on your favorite station, Oweleke TV. Today is Monday, 18th March 2024, and of course, we will bring you to speed with the headlines for the day. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and this is Antonia Nwokolo. Good morning, Antonia.
Good morning, Ramsey.
And of course, we have Chiwendu Osisegu in the studio. Good morning, Chiwendu.
Good morning, Ramsey.
All right, the first headline is coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning. I'll begin with the big story for the day, which says trade payments suffer as service disruption may linger till April. Well, there have been some form of network issue, and it has affected the whole lot. That is the internet outage. The details of that you can get on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Then from there, I have this big one which says slain soldiers. Tinubu grants military full authority to pursue justice, silent on reprisals. Details you can get on page 6. It's a big one. I think it's not a slap per se, but then it's a pathetic situation that about 12 soldiers had to meet an untimely death on duty. Well, I don't want to talk that so much so that people don't get too emotional. We'll talk about that much later. SSANU NASU begin nationwide strike today, and the details of that you can get on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Then finally, Northern leaders, SERAP, seek probe of 3.7 trillion budget padding allegation. You can get the details of that on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Guardian newspaper this morning as we move to the next paper. Over to you, Antonia.
Thank you, Ramsey. On the DailyTimes newspaper, the first headline, fear grips Delta community as Tinubu spits fire. This is the president's reaction to the killing of the soldiers in Delta State. And the details of that story is on page 4 of the DailyTimes newspaper. NASU SSANU begin 7-day warning strike. The details of that story is on page 5 of the DailyTimes newspaper. Also, the next headline you'll be taking, bandits abduct 14 persons in fresh attack on Kaduna community. The story is on page 5 of the DailyTimes newspaper. And finally, from this newspaper, NJC alleges bid by fraudsters to defraud retired judicial officers. And the story is on page 5 of the DailyTimes newspaper. And that will be all from here.
All right, thank you very much, Sonia. On the Punch newspaper this morning, soldiers killing. Tinubu Senate order man hot for killers. Troops comb worrying communities. You can find the story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. FG eyes $1 billion World Bank loans for IDPs are Greek. You can find that story on page 21 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Senate warns against supplementary budgets, excess loans. You can find the story on page 18 of the Punch newspaper. FG plans talks with Ghana, orders to protect undersea cables. You can find the story on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, textiles import 7 orders gob 1.4 trillion naira after CBN ban lifts. You can find the story on page 22 of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, the last paper we are taking today is going to be the Daily Trust newspaper, and I'll begin with the big story. The big story says a budget pardon. Nigerians angry with lawmakers. Why wouldn't they be angry? 3 riders to that story. Ex-legislators slam Senate. That's the first rider. Then the second rider says, I got 1 billion naira for constituency projects. Senator Nwoko is the one saying that. Then this rider says Nigeria operating a faulty budget system. Nigeria operating a faulty budgeting system. And the last rider to that story says, SERAP, CSOs don't demand investigation. The details of that you can get on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Then I have this other headlines on page 5, which says Niger junta suspends military cooperation with U.S. Four feared killed in Kogi communal clash. Communal clashes everywhere, despite what we're facing in this country. Then finally from here, Tinubu to CDS. Bring killers of military personnel to justice. Tinubu is not smiling at all as far as this incident is concerned. Then just one headline to that story. Okwama community raised. Military deploys armor vehicles. What are you expecting? Well, I just pray, I just pray the situation is being arrested. Then, finally, before I leave the Daily Trust, I said finally, but then that's not the last. Let me just take this one. SSANU, NASU shut down varsities nationwide today. They are gone, meaning they are gone on strike. It's a total shutdown. The details of that you can get on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And that's going to be the size of the headlines today. Just meet your vendor and pick any of these papers that catches your fancy. And of course, go through them for the stories. My name is Ramsey, and it's been Antonia and Chiwendu. We will be back after this break for the big story.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleke.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It's still outnumbered live on your screen with Ramsey, Antonia, and of course Chiwendu. It's a beautiful day right here, but then I don't know. I think it's more like the people are getting used to it now, especially the federal government. Yeah, they see strike action as something that is normal to Nigerians, and sometimes when the federal government hear about striking actions, they don't fidget anymore. They don't get scared. I could remember back in the days, if the federal government hear anything, strike, they start running helter-skelter, calling for meetings and all of that. But I don't know what is happening right now. Let's talk about SSANU. The big story is from the Daily Trust newspaper, where we told you that SSANU and NASU shut down varsities nationwide today as we speak. People come up to complain of the fact that some Nigerian graduates are half-baked. After the strike, when they return back, I know someone may be saying, well, this is non-academic staff union, then this one is a senior staff association of Nigerian universities. Well, there is a way all of this affects the study of the students. And the question is, why? For how long will the federal government continue to owe these people? When will they hear their cry? Many times, today it's not doctors. It's SSANU and NASU. Tomorrow it could be someone else. NLC, CSOs. Is the federal government not tired of this? Can they go back to the drawing board and just look at what the problem is? Sit down and at least do something concerning the situation. Well, let's add our voice to this conversation as it is right now. Chiwendu, SSANU, and NASU. You know why they are embarking on this strike? Because about 4 months now, they've not been paid. And look at what is happening in this country. You're working, but you're not being paid. Okay, let's take for instance, things are very expensive, right? The money is not there. You're working. Maybe at the end of the month, you get a slash. Or probably you're not even being paid at all. Don't you think that is wickedness? Don't you think the federal government is being insensitive to the plight of the people? How would they want them to survive? These are people that impact knowledge, that should even be the first people, all right? Their salary should be prioritized. but reverse is the case. What do you think? Is it right going on strike at this very particular point in time, or you feel it's adding more sort to injury?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ramsey. To me, at my best understanding, going on strike is something they should actually go for, because how would you owe people 4 months' salary? These are people that have families. These are people that have things they're doing. On a daily basis, you're going out. As soon as you step out of your door, you're going to spend money, regardless of how much. But as soon as you open your door, just trust me, you're going to spend, even if it's 1,000 naira. And now you're working on a daily basis. You're going to work, you're impacting knowledge, as you've said, to these students, and you're not being paid. Not just 1 month, not 2 months, not 3 months. 4 good months, and they've been writing to the federal government, and yet they are yet to reply, these people. So I won't blame them if they are going on strike, and the strike is starting from today. According to what I read, they said it's going to be a 7 days warning strike if only the government come to their aid. If the government comes to their aid, I'm sure that they will cut off the strike. But for
yes,
now,
they will.
They are going on the strike, and I won't blame them for crying out loud. Going to the market, like you've said, food is expensive.
You are a woman, so you know how hot it is.
Yes, they're taking their children to school. They're paying school fees, paying anything in your house, your light, your water. You are paying for this.
Like you said, it's true. As you're stepping out of your house, you begin to spend money. Money begin to get out of your pocket, and these people, they don't have mercy at all. Look at the cost of fare. All right. Look at how expensive transportation is at this very particular point in time. Well, Antonia, what do you think? The federal government, do you see them as being insensitive? Remember, this is not the first time. Okay, it was after doctors left the country that the president came into office and was begging doctors to come back. Now they are treating
teachers.
I want lecturers. To call them. I should even call them senior citizens.
Senior citizens of Nigeria.
Of Nigeria, because we're talking about senior staff. Okay, yes. That is, we're talking about professors. People, and look at what is happening. Don't you think this will have a way of affecting the economy, all right, of the nation?
Of course, it's already affecting the economy. It's already affecting the educational system. First of all, over the years, we've been hearing complaints of our educational system being down, that the educational system is declining, and Nigerians are producing half-baked graduates. You have graduates that said, I have a Bachelor of Science in XYZ course, and you can't even stand to defend. These are all of the aftermath of such strike actions. Before now ought to be a way to get the government's attention. When we say we are not working again, the government say, okay, what do you want? Let's reach a conclusion. Let's have a round table discussion and see where can we meet at a point. The government doesn't have enough money to fund this, but we can at least provide 50%. That's what ought to come out of every strike action. But sadly, it's more like the government we have today, this present administration, is enjoying all of these strike actions. Some time back, the president came out to say, I'm just 9 months in office. Don't judge me. Don't castigate me don't voice out your complaints because I'm just 9 months. But now it's getting too much, and it's more like you're trying to shut every Nigerian down for voicing their complaints. But things are not changing. The situation is not becoming better. So definitely it's going to take a toll on our economy. And the students is going to take a toll on every one of us as Nigerians.
And it's going to affect the economy. Yes. And if care is not taken, crime is going to increase.
Of course,
because if you all know what I'm talking about. You all know, if you've been through the 4 walls of the university, you know we have the good, the bad, and the ugly who take advantage of every situation. So the federal government should do something ASAP. Apart from the fact that the families of these concerned citizens, all right, the NASU and SSANU staff. Well, this is going to be the size of today's newspaper review on Oweleke TV. It's been a very wonderful time. Thank you, Antonia, for adding your voice to the conversation.
Thank you.
And thank you, Chiwendu Osisego. All right. You like the way I sound your name, right? Thank you also for coming around. I'm being outnumbered today. I don't know if anyone actually noticed that. We'll come on your way again. Have a beautiful day and a fruitful week ahead of you. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Bye-bye for now.